They can't get the things that they need done because it just costs too much.
The medicine is expensive.
You want to feel like a person, not just a product.
We asked patients what they struggle with most and what they most want to see in healthcare. Then, we traveled to Chicago to the Becker's Conference to meet with healthcare executives and share these thoughts. Let's see what solutions executives have in the works.
So in our organization, we have a goal, the enterprise goal, to help improve the communities we serve by 20% by 2020 through making it easier for people to achieve their best health. And when you look at our engagement scores for our associates, it's skyrockets as a result of that aspirational side. So purpose is an important part of that. But then the second thing is to constantly ask the question, how can we do it better?
So when you encourage change, part of the challenge is getting leaders and physicians to recognize the need for change.
Not just staff, right?
Not just staff. And sometimes they're the hardest ones to convince. One of the best ways that we have found at the moment is just giving them good data. It is very common for leaders and physicians to have a mindset for what the reality is. And only valid, justifiable, clear data sometimes can break through that mindset and get them to see a different way of looking at things.
For the staff we hire, we try to instill right on day one the values of the organization, and continual improvement is part of that. And we try to have an open door policy and tell the staff that there's no bad ideas. If you see something where we're not living our values or there's a point of improvement, act on it. With change, it's the pace. So it's trying to meter that pace so that we aren't overwhelmed, because there's so much coming at us that it can be tough. It's like drinking out of a fire hose.
The most common thing that the CEOs are talking about isn't strategy or access to capital. It's actually employees and their burnout and finding talent and engaging employees and culture. And so healthcare is a special case because as more and more regulations end up coming to us, and as it gets more cost competitive, we see this burnout problem happening, and it's happening with physicians and nurses and everybody. And so one of the reasons we've made really big investments in culture is we see culture and engagement as almost like an inoculation against burnout. Not that it completely eliminates it, but anytime you're engaged in your work, or it has more meaning, or it feels like meaningful work, your ability to withstand burnout increases.
And healthcare is all about changing behaviors. Incentives and information and the right context, making it the cool thing, the right thing to do, because threatening people doesn't work.
One of the biggest things we do now is it's developing partnerships. You know, when you're a critical access hospital and you're in a rural location, you can't and you shouldn't do everything on your own. You shouldn't try to employ everybody. You shouldn't try to change the world, but you have to pick one or two really important things. So the first thing that we did to try to change that behavior is understand the culture, understand the Native American culture, making sure that when folks come onto the hospital, that our culture represents their culture. So it's not walking into a white hospital, it's walking into our hospital.
The way to set up culture on patient care is it comes from the top, and it's just repeated, repeated, repeated. There's 5 things we care about: patient experience, employee engagement, physician engagement, quality, and finances. That's it. 5 bubbles. You focus on that, we got it made.
It is really amazing how much the culture affects the work that you do. Many physicians, the vast majority of them, went into medicine to try to help people and to do the right thing. And if you can peel back those layers and really appeal to that fundamental desire to help their fellow human being, and to really help people through a trying time when their health is at risk, that you can often appeal to what you need to get them to transition.